When videotaping inside a building, the average videographer forgets to get door frame shots. Broadcast pros use the door frame all the time to give a more inside or voyeuristic view. It's okay to get the subject, but once in a while get the door frame too. It's used all the time on broadcast television. Here's a shot without a door frame, and here's the shot with the door frame. It's not made to replace the regular shot, but to be used in conjunction to add more of a three-dimensional image to your two-dimensional television screen. It's your job as a videographer to be the best videographer you could be, and that requires practicing, learning from other people, and trying to be the top person there. And that's going to happen through creative camera work. You know, when you're the top person out there, you're going to be the first one called for jobs. You're going to be the one that customers go to first because everybody knows, hey, Joe Smith, he's the best in the area, or Mary Jones, she's the one to hire as a videographer. Once you get to be one of the best camera people, you're going to have a few other camera people that are jealous out there, going to say, oh, why does he get all the jobs? Why does he think he's so good, or she thinks she's so good? That's okay. You can put up with that because you also have a lot of people coming up to me and say, wow, I really like your work. I can't believe how many videographers around the country are not doing rack focusing. You're seeing it here, and this is the way you want to practice. Put your background way in the distance, zoom in tight, get your shot, and use your focus ring to go back and forth between the background and the foreground. A lot of times on broadcast TV, this is used to videotape a prison where they have the barbed wire being rack focused in the foreground, used to rack focus between two people, used to rack focus between a sign and a building. Rack focusing is used all the time on broadcast TV. It's your duty as a videographer to go out there and practice. As a matter of fact, I want you to stop the tape right after this sentence here, go out and videotape using rack focusing, practice, and see what you get. One other tip, if you have an ND or neutral density filter built into your camera, or you can get one at a photo store for about $5 or $10, this will make the rack focusing a little easier because it cuts down on the amount of light going to the camera. Point of view shots are shots where the camera takes on the perspective of the subject. For example, this cart driver, or this cup of coffee. Point of view shots are a secret of award-winning videographers that they don't often share. These shots are used to give a you are there look and help keep the viewer's interest. They would fall into the opposite category under Waldo. Point of view shots are most effective when used between standard shots of your subject, like here with baby Olivia. Here's the point of view shot, and we go back to the standard shot. Point of view shots are used by broadcasters in so many different ways. The great thing about them is they can be done with people or with objects. So the next time you're on a job, try to incorporate point of view shots into your videotaping. Here are a few more examples of different ways you can use point of view out on the job. When we began this video, we decided my on-camera headshots would be best done in a quiet, out-of-the-way place. So we took off for a couple days to a beautiful area 30 miles from town. I took with me award-winning videographer Joe Correa. We chose Lake Ouachita State Park because of its scenic backgrounds and because they had cabins that overlooked the beautiful lake. I always look forward to working with Joe because he's not only a good camera person, but he's a good friend. Okay, let's stop the tape right here. You've come far enough along that it's time for a quiz. When watching the last section of the tape about the trip to the lake, were you A, getting involved in the story, B, noting different camera shots and angles, or C, eating pretzels? If you chose B, you're correct and can skip the next section. If you chose A or C,
Well, then it's time to learn the special way that videographers watch TV.
Hi, my name's Annie, and I'm really excited about something. I've learned how to watch TV. Used to be really tough for me, but now it's really easy. All I need are these 3 remotes. This one you turn on, and then you have to turn this one on because this sets up the whole system, and then you switch back to this one for the VCR, and you turn it to line input, and then you get on this one, and you can switch all the different channels, but none of that will work unless you have this one on, because this one is for the volume control. And then if you want to watch a video, you go back to this one, and then
that's not exactly what we had in mind by how to watch TV.
Oh.
In many other artistic mediums, you look at what the artist does and you really can't figure out how they did it. But with video, it's so visual that what you see is what you get. It's not like trying to figure out a magician's secret. You can learn it by watching television every night. Well, why don't people do that? Why don't videographers get down and take out a pen and paper and take notes? Well, the people of the award-winning caliber, the black belt videographers, like I say, constantly do that, even if they've been in video for many years, because they know they can always learn something more. And it's there on TV to see every night, and it's free, so you might as well take advantage of it. The reason most videographers do not take advantage of it is because they do not detach themselves from the story. So here's the big secret. When you're watching television, to pick up techniques, number 1, of course, have a pen and a notepad. But number 2, be willing to detach yourself from the story. Just look at the camera techniques. A good video director, editor, whatever, will make a story so you get caught up in it that you do not notice the cuts, that you do not notice the different camera techniques and all that kind of stuff. So, and that's good. They're doing their job. But you have to remove yourself from watching the story and just watch the different techniques. When you do that with a pen and a notepad, you're going to notice so many different techniques that you're going to be able to incorporate into your own work.
Now that we know the right way to watch TV, let's review the different shots we've seen. We have the opposite shot from the back of the car, the angled reflection shot in the windshield, the depth shot through the trees, the angled shot from the side, which is also low, depth shot from the distance, wide reflection shot in the mirror, low shot on Joe, point of view shot from the front of the truck, linking shot from the truck to the sign, very low shot of the truck, opposite high position from the cabin, depth shot as the truck goes by to the cabin. Whenever you can, you should try to incorporate the pedestal shot into your video work. Broadcast professionals use this all the time, simply holding the camera, usually at wide, and going up, or in this case, going down. It also can be used as a linking shot. This is used all the time in broadcast television, and you should be using it on your jobs. Using pedestal shots is a sign of a true pro. Most pedestal shots go from position 1 to 3 or 4, or 3 or 4 down to 1.
One secret of the broadcast professionals is leaves. They use leaves and trees and different things for foreground because it adds the depth of field to the shot. Now, the big secret is that they don't always use something that's naturally around them. Like this. We're using something like this in front of the camera now to give us that framing. As a matter of fact, Joe can pull it away right now, or he could put it back. Instant framing. You see, before and after can make a big difference in many shots. I recommend, if you're in an area where you have to add framing, to look around and see if there's something like this. I also recommend going to a store that sells fake plants and flowers and grabbing a few of these things to keep in your car in that situation when you need that instant depth, when you want to frame the shot and add a lot of perspective. Either that or go off to a place that has a few plants around, take a branch off a tree, and add instant framing. An interesting thing happened back in the mid-1980s. The independent small videographer that didn't have a big budget was finally able to get big budget techniques using things like the Video Toaster and the AVE5, MX50, MX1 mixers. When these mixers came along and special effects devices, they allowed the small guy to do what the big guy was doing. The big guys, though, had one over on the small guys because as soon as all the little guys were able to start doing those big guy kind of effects, the big guys stopped using those effects. As a matter of fact, if you watch television now, they're going back to all the effects that were the basics of the industry from the film days way back when. Those are basic dissolves, fade to black. They're even using a lot of titles now that are simply white letters on a black background. So this is why good advanced camera technique is more important than ever, because good advanced camera technique does not go out of style. Certain effects go out of style, certain kinds of titling goes out of style, but good solid camera work does not go out of style. As digital video becomes more and more prevalent, we're also seeing the proliferation of the top broadcasters actually dumbing down their signal. They're taking commercials and making them black and white. They're making them grainy. They're making them shaky. They're tinting them yellow. They're doing all sorts of crazy things to separate themselves from the small independent videographer who's actually getting the sharper and sharper equipment. So remember, what it boils down to is good, solid camera work, and you can't go wrong.
The up the body shot simply involves starting at the bottom and moving up from position 1 to 4 shown here with your camcorder. It's done on broadcast television all the time. You can use a tripod or you could do it freehand. For most situations, you want to get the subject's permission before doing the up the body shot. Most videographers have seen this shot and know about the shot, but it's surprising how few use it. So on your next job, use the up the body shot.